Alright guys, so I found out that this does have a favorite band of mine, The Cure, but it's only on side B and it's only partial of the album. They recorded a bunch of other songs and then they started putting on, I guess, whatever was left over on the tape on side B, The Cure, 17 Seconds, which is their second album. And it wasn't even that great sounding, so I'm just going to record over it anyways. And I figured I'm going to try to record Three Imaginary Boys, which is a 1997 debut album of The Cure. I'm going to put 17 Seconds, which is their second album. So the first album was in 1979, which is perfect because this is a 1979 tape. 1980 album, 17 Seconds. And then whatever's left over, because those two albums are only 35 minutes each, Faith, which is their third album. So I'm just going to fill this up with the very first three albums of The Cure. Like, why the heck not, right? Faith, by the way, the third album came out in 1981. So they came out with an album every year at the very start. So this is like the perfect tape for it. You know, it's around that time period. And because I already have plans to record over it, oh, first of all, I need to tape that up. So I'll be right back. But I will, now I don't feel so bad recording over this, I guess, testing. But then, of course, I'm going to have to find a way to recreate this card, you know, this J card. So, yay. But other than that, I guess this video is just to show off the TDK OD C-90. That's a mouthful, isn't it? But it is a used tape, so, you know, whatever. I don't even know what, you know, if the condition's any good or not. It's brown ferric tape. I guess it's more. I don't understand how, you know, how this is going to be, you know, what they did to make this one better than the standard TDKD. But we'll find out, right? We're going to find out together. All right, so I taped it up. All right, so A and B. Let's put that in. Oops. All right. I'll put my headphones on. Whoa. This is how I monitor. And first, let's calibrate. Okay, it's dead on. And by the way, the last tape of this was calibrated to was the TDKD 1979 tape. So what you saw there, I had to change. That's how, again, these were both the same year. So we can tell that this is going to have a better sensitivity to high frequencies. So it's going to have more of a top end. Compared to the 88, which was all the way up here. So this one, you know, doesn't perform as well as the 1988 TDKD as far as the high end goes. But I'm still excited to see how well this goes. Let's do it one more time. I just want to make sure. All right, we're good. All right. doesn't sound too bad at all. Still a decent amount of hiss I can hear. So, you know what? Let's give this a benefit of doubt and add some Dolby B, which the original person recorded it with Dolby noise reduction as well. So let's give that a shot. Actually, let's test it with Dolby off as first. That's Dolby B right there. Sounds better actually. I wonder if it can take higher levels. Let's check it out. Leaving it on B. there's a little more headroom with this particular cassette. More experimentation is needed. It does seem to me the type of music would, you know, the amount of level that you can take with the cassette really does depend on the music that you put on there. If the music has a lot of bass where it's not very tight and it's kind of flabby, kind of like what we were hearing with some of the test music that we have, you can pump the levels up higher because you're not going to notice it distort, because if it's a very flabby bass, you're not going to be able to tell anyways. But if it's a very clean bass and clean sounding high ends, then, you know, you might have to dial your levels a little lower to get a cleaner, to get that cleaner sound if the tape is getting saturated. So realistically, I would say plus 4 dB before, you know, is probably the limit I would use on this one. The TDK, the 1988 version, was also around that same level. So I'm guessing this is the tape that they were going to put in 88s, it seems. And they probably improved it a little more because the 88 does seem to have need, I would say, less bias, because I think the dials here are kind of like a misleading. You turn it up to bring up the treble, or the bias, but in reality, when you lower the bias, you get higher. What do you call higher treble? You know. So what you're seeing here is, like, you know, the high frequencies getting louder or softer, and we're just doing it by doing this, going higher, you get higher treble. But in reality, when you're lowering the bias, the higher the treble. So, and the JVC, which is down here, reflects that. You guys seen that before, where I turn it down, it actually goes higher, whereas it's different for this one, for the Nakamichi ZX7. This seems more intuitive. This is more technically correct. So, you know, either way, as long as you can understand what you're actually doing and why you're actually doing it, then you can actually also be able to tell how these tapes perform when you are adjusting those dials. So I can already tell just by playing around with the calibrations that the 88 seems to be more sensitive with the treble, the higher frequencies, than the OD. And the OD has a is more sensitive to the higher frequencies than the same year, 1979 TDK-D, whether that's the true mechanism or the standard one, because the standard one and the true mechanism uses the exact same tape. So the true mechanism is just a marketing thing because of the clear shell. That's all. But anyways, that concludes the TDK OD C-90, which is the 1979 version. And I'm just gonna record the cure on this thing, the first 3 albums on here, or as much as I can anyways. I know the first 2 is gonna fit. The third one is probably just going to get like either half of it or most of it, who knows, we'll see. But all right, hope you guys enjoy this video, and if you like, please subscribe if you aren't already and you like to see more of these kind of videos from me. And hit the notification bell if you really don't want to miss a single video from me. I mean, why would you, right? All right, guys, take care. Bye.